Path of Night is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We talk at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same, so listener discretion is advised. Now, let's walk the path of night.
Last time on Path of Night, Miles, Britta, and Neil faced the temptations of the second rung of the ladder of heaven. Neil chose not to interfere. Miles accepted the offer of infernalism, while Britta remained steadfast when cajoled with the secrets of her past and recovered her willpower. With the ritual finished, the coterie must face the coming Savant threat. Wynn, Johnny. In the distance now, you can occasionally hear more and more sounds of ambulances, gunshots. Things are starting to heat up in the city. You see Britta crying tears of blood. You see just one tear from Miles. And then you see Neil, and his eyes snap open.
Hey.
Hey. Are the
You
others
okay?
awake yet?
No.
I'm fine. I really hope they are too.
They're crying.
Yeah.
Johnny glances at his watch and then up at the sky. What time is it?
Looking up at the sky, you can see that the stars are largely faded, and the sky is taking on that near blue color. The sun is coming.
Yeah, we're cutting it close here.
I went as fast as we could. It was, still faster than normal, I guess, but this is desperate times. And Neil sort of stands up and kind of brushes himself off a little bit and is looking really worriedly between Miles and Britta.
Wynn kind of hands him a towel and a blanket just because she remembers last time he was pretty cold because he was drenched in blood.
When did they start crying?
We had to go deal with a situation.
It's been at least an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Situation? Is everything all right?
Shovelheads.
I think the war has started already. You can hear it. Johnny shakes the last Morley out of his pack, pops it in his lip.
So it wasn't a lie then, or it was a lie, but it was an unintentional truth.
An exaggeration, maybe.
So they're coming. They're here, and if they're here now, and Neil listens to like the sirens and the gunshots and stuff going off in the distance. That means tomorrow night's gonna be a rough night. And then he just looks back, not cleaning himself up, not like there's still blood all over him, waiting for Britta or Miles to move.
Wynn kind of assumes a crouched position between the two of them.
As Wynn crouches, Britta's eyes open.
Oh, go away, leave me alone. Hey. It's okay, you're safe. You're here. Wynn?
Well, Britta, you did it. You pushed them away. You chose yourself. You chose you.
I think so.
The Pendragons. You didn't try and save either one of them. You didn't. You realized yourself. I didn't get to see anything after that. I couldn't. I couldn't.
You saw what I went through?
Up until I had to choose not to. You walked away. You chose you.
The beginning,
Oh, I didn't see the beginning. I only saw starting at the second step of the ladder.
Smeetsy tried to make me kneel as Tamahira, and I said no, and...
Good.
Then what you're talking about,
I saw the three of you. Yeah, but you're here, and you realized it though, right? You realized that he's just two halves of the same guy. That wasn't separate people at all. That was just
Neil,
like a representation of everybody.
Neil.
Yeah.
That wasn't the challenge. He wasn't the challenge. It was me.
Yeah. Well, yes. That's what I. Yes, exactly. But you did it though. You figured it out.
It wasn't the end of it. Shrike. There was another door, and I said no to learning who I am, and I hate it. I hate it so much.
I was going to ask what he offered.
Wynn kind of holds out her hands for Britta to take if she wants them, but she isn't going to force touch on her.
Britta is very touch averse. Mm-hmm. She actively pulls away. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel as if it's like a specific insult, but
no,
she cringes like there's something clinging to her.
Yeah, Wynn tucks her hands away.
I said no, and now I don't know if I'm ever going to learn that. But yes, I feel like me, Neil.
Good. The you that is, the yous that you are, is you. That's the important part. And you get to be all of you. That was what I saw when we were there. You choosing to be you. And I had faith that you could do it. And I'm glad. And I know it hurts. It hurts every time to leave.
Wynn just kind of watches Britta as she looks haunted by the loss of something she wanted so much for so long, and that she may never get the chance to have again. And she watches as Neil's words seem to, though well-intentioned, seem to be just water off a duck's back at this moment.
That's not quite water off a duck's back. There is an active instinct of frustration.
Johnny takes a long drag and then blows out the smoke. You sound angry.
Do you remember a long time ago, Johnny? You were trying to get me to be mad. You're trying to get me to yell at you and show how I felt.
I do.
It never feels good. And I feel like myself, and that doesn't feel good either. It's what I needed to do.
He nods slowly. Angry's not a bad thing. I've been sick of you acting so scared for so long.
I am scared all the time.
But you were letting that fear run you. Now you're getting angry at that fear, and I like that. It's good to see you not take shit from this fear anymore. Corner of Johnny's mouth kind of turns up a little bit of a smile.
Do you mind if I ask why you said no?
I wanted it. I wanted it really badly. I still want it. It's in the back of my head that maybe I can get back to it after we're done doing all this apocalyptic stuff we need to do, and I said no because that Shrike, or that version of him, or whatever you called that in that place, because he was saying that he was the one who made me, and that only makes it more true. I want to know who I am, and I hope that maybe someday I'll figure it out, but Well, with hard work and time, right? Maybe someday.
You want to know you, not what he twisted you into.
No, I want to know. It's all a part of me. I am me, that's the difference.
I know. I get it.
Johnny looks over to Miles. Why isn't he opening his eyes?
I really hope Miles made the right choice. There was something in there with him pushing him to make the wrong one.
Isn't that the point of this?
Miles's eyes open.
Wynn flies to his side.
Did you tell it no? First thing that Neil says.
Meanwhile, probably at about exactly the same time.
Are you okay?
Oh. Miles, hit with an assault of various things at the same time, acknowledges none of them as he is trying to figure out what being in a body feels like again, and slowly opens his eyes. All right, that was a thing.
He didn't say Miles here.
Wasn't a telephone.
Did you tell it no?
Did I tell what now?
The demon in the book.
What?
He watched maybe part of what we went through. I don't really get it either, but...
I had a choices, and I said no to both of them.
And what about the demon in the book?
What demon in the book?
It didn't reveal itself to you at all?
I don't remember.
I don't want to say its name, but we all know it.
I don't recall.
You don't recall.
I don't recall seeing a demon.
Neil?
Neil's eyes furrow at that.
It was
suspicion and fear.
It was Marcos or Elsa. It was giving me... This dreamscape was giving me the chance to bring one of them back.
And you said no to both because the choice at that moment was to not take the power.
Neil?
You're talking at us a lot.
Let them share what they went through.
I'm worried that there are 6 people here and not 5.
I understand. Let them speak for themselves.
When Wynn asks him to, Neil quiets and steps back.
I'm not saying don't look. I'm not saying don't listen. I'm saying let him have his words.
And I gave it all up. It was me trying to continuously fix the past and trying to do things for others that really kept costing me.
Mine was a lot like that. Like I kept ripping myself to shreds to try and be the image of what I thought I should be, and I wasn't paying attention to who I really am, who I really want, what I really want, and why I even... Just denying myself so much of that honesty.
I put the book down and I walked away. I chose neither. And this whole thing is terrible, and I would like not to relive it again. Why do you guys go through this all the time?
Neil gives like a exhausted, sad chuckle. It's not often that intense. It was, well, as was pointed out to me by me when I was there, complete arrogance for me to bring the two of you there. But it was the only thing I could think of to help. Last time, fear was just Reese cornering me.
He was there.
And last time, temptation was Nara. This was more intensive than normal. But I think we're all more complex than we used to be.
Might also be something to do with the times?
Or it could have just been me perverting the ritual in a way that wasn't supposed to be done. Are you again?
I was never not me.
I think, Miles,
Oh, you mean that? Yes, I'm better.
so no, it wasn't for nothing. I'm sorry that the two of you had to suffer. I actually am. And it might not mean anything right now, but I am actually proud of both of you. What were your doors like? And he says that last part in like sort of a genuine curiosity.
I don't really remember the doors.
At the end, after your temptations, the door you stepped through, what was it like?
Neil, we can talk about this, but I think someone said the war started.
You can hear it. I just wanted to know.
We need to get ready. We need to feed. We need to arm up. And for all that this means, it means we can have a fighting chance. It means that Miles and we found ourselves again. And that whatever happens here, we can actually face it with all of us.
Okay.
I get it. I want to talk about it too, and
Tomorrow night, I guess. Well, no, tomorrow night's going to be the worst night of our lives. Some other night.
We can talk about all the symbolism that's involved with our strange journeys.
Worst night of our lives so far.
Neil looks down at like the ritual components and everything. I'll clean this up. Johnny, do you mind helping me clean this up?
Neil, I'll help you
carry some
clean
stuff.
up.
Britta actually steps in. She takes back, I think, her hairbrush, right?
There were a few things, but the hairbrush is probably the one that was missing most recently.
She collects up her things, probably staining her hands with a little bit of blood if that had gotten onto them. She looks at Neil and she says, "And can you please not mess with this? It reminds me of when I don't need to think about Vito coming up through my pipes any time soon. Moving things in my haven, and if I'm gonna have my spine back like Johnny's putting in, this is basically the easiest test. You don't like it when people fuck with your things."
That actually seems to get through to Neil. In a, like, his feelings are hurt, but he also understands that, like, deservedly so, is kind of the expression that crosses his face. And he doesn't quite say anything, but just nods.
Thank you.
Miles stands up, puts back on his luxurious robe, and puts his stuff in his pockets. Takes a look around.
Thanks for getting us through this, Neil.
I'm proud of all three of you.
We wouldn't be ourselves without this.
Yeah, let's all get some rest, I guess.
We're gonna need it.
Gonna be a big night, yeah.
Anything happen while we were down?
Shovelheads.
Johnny glances over at the pile of bodies that have been stacked.
What's the point of a secret haven if people keep finding it?
Well, they were looking for you.
If there's still daylight, I need to feed someone with me.
The ghouls nearby should be easiest.
All right.
Miles, one last step, at least for Nishipu, getting that high and successfully climbing the ladder gives one certain insights. Like Marcus Vitale did, do you want me to ward your haven so that the five of us could pass through? I have more ability now to do so than I will tomorrow.
Sure.
I don't want to do it without asking.
Yeah, it's a good plan. It'd be good to have more protections on this place.
Is there anyone else you want to be able to come in and out?
The ghouls?
Kindred.
Oh. Only, I don't know how she counts on this, but Eden.
I don't either.
That's about it. Anything else we can figure it out later.
Okay. Don't invite anyone over.
I've been trying not to.
How many shovelheads did you guys... Oh, they're dead.
Yeah. Wynn kind of just starts fussing with the tail of her braid, like she's ashamed.
Now that everybody's out, Neil looks over, clocks the feathers in Wynn's hair, and very obviously on his face chooses not to say anything in this moment after having been sort of emotionally exhausted from everything else.
They thought killing Miles would give them their humanity back.
Like, make them mortal again.
Yeah.
That's what Carmen told them.
I assumed she was the she in question.
Then there's probably more where that came from.
Yeah.
Invariably, there's roving packs of shovelheads all over the city right now.
Do you two feel like yourselves?
No, but...
Johnny kind of arches an eyebrow at that.
I mean, do you feel guilty about it?
Yes. They're fucking kids. They were using flashlights and nail bats.
It was a harder fight for some than others. He kind of gives a sideways glance at Wynn.
Tried to tell them to run.
There's just so much more of that coming.
Feeling bad about the fight doesn't mean the fight doesn't need to happen.
It needs to happen.
I know.
All right. Gather up your stuff. Get yourself ready. Get some rest.
Do you want Chaps to take care of the bull?
It's free for him, I guess. It's dead, and we don't need it anymore.
Wynn'll kind of give a whistle.
Chaps arrives hungrily, eyes darting around, looking for the green light to do what it wants to do to the meat.
Just that. She points at the bull. Just the dead bull.
There's this like harumph noise.
I'll see if I can find eggs too.
The satisfies it, heads over to the food.
I'll send him a quiet, don't get too messy.
He gives a quiet narrowing of the eyes and then goes back to eating.
So weird when you two have conversations.
Neil starts sort of cleaning stuff up and very clearly is looking, even after asking Johnny to help, is like looking for a moment alone with Johnny. Very clear. Keeps waiting if anybody's lingering around to help. Is like, no, it's fine. I got it.
Give me a manipulation plus subterfuge.
Oh, okay. Does my subterfuge spec in misdirect apply?
No, because you're not using any misdirection. You're just awkwardly waiting.
Yeah, and I'm also not using my fast talk.
Everyone else, roll perception plus empathy, please.
I went inside.
Except for Miles.
I mean, I had said I wanted to go feed. I'm not sure if I should roll or not. It depends.
Except for Miles and Britta.
Okay.
Only 3 successes.
Just one success.
A single success as well.
Okay. No one notices anything unusual about Neil's behavior beyond the unusual that you've come to expect.
Wynn takes the opportunity while they're cleaning things up to approach him. Okay, so I wasn't going to say it in front of Miles. He was being extremely cagey. And if Z's involved, I'm very worried. And I want you to keep an eye on him, please.
When one approaches the veil and is ascending the ladder, most things are unreal dream constructs, just kind of normal manipulations of your mind, but there are also spirits and things that can prey, and I didn't want to say too much. And at this point, since Wynn brought it up, he is also saying this in front of Johnny. There are things that are real spirits, some people would say demons, that can attempt to manipulate, can actually be a part of it. Ordinarily, no. But Miles had an actual demon in his head, which creates a link, and no matter how much it's gone, there's still some sort of link there. There always may be. So, I don't know. But I saw a demon lurking there that he did not see.
I'm sorry. Stop. What's the concern here?
Neil saw something.
Sure. Are we worried that Miles is possessed?
Or that he made a deal with Z?
Is that possible in a dreamscape?
Ordinarily, no. Under these circumstances, I would say possibly.
So you're concerned that he has infernal powers now?
Or that he's...
Simply struck a bargain. I don't know.
talking to Z again.
Can you fucking tell that from his aura?
I look over as Miles and Britta are walking into the house,
Okay.
and I will try and perceive Miles's aura.
Sounds good. Roll.
Before you do that, Johnny, seeing you look away after he asked a question to you, puts his hand in front of your face and goes,
What?
I asked you a fucking question. Can you see that from his aura?
I'm about to check.
Well, then say that.
Okay, well, I thought
We're having a conversation. Do not look away from me when we're fucking
Johnny,
talking.
if the question is,
I've been up all night. Okay. He can be a little bit fucking straight
we're
with me.
both up all night. We're fucking vampires. Relax.
Okay,
I hate to point this out, but if you guys are that loud, I feel like we would notice.
They may absolutely hear this.
Britta had been in the middle of attempting to wipe her very bloody face, and her sleeves look like a red ombre. And she's offering like the clean elbow of her sleeve to Miles as they're walking through the door. And sound ramps up, and she looks confused to Miles.
He just shrugs at her and I don't know. Just kind of continues to keep walking because they're doing whatever they're going to keep doing. And
Why are they yelling? We're the ones that went through the ladder.
stuff went on tonight. It's been a couple days.
Yeah, it has.
Sounds like they decide to go inside and get cleaned up.
Neil looks over as they're going in, as Johnny's yelling. So if they look back, Neil is just staring at them as he's getting yelled at by Johnny. Lex, I got 10 successes on an aura perception.
What is your question?
Is anything about Miles's aura infernal, and is he being deceptive? I know I got a million more questions. I just would like to double down on those two.
He is definitely not being deceptive. He's literally walking away. But as far as infernal taint goes, you don't see anything there either. He's fine.
Other than that, Lex, with a bunch of successes here, what are his primary emotions right now?
Miles, what are your primary emotions right now?
Mild annoyance, some concern, some tiredness, some wariness. I mean, a little bit excited about all the fighting that's about to come.
You see Neil, as he's looking at Miles, zone out and look really intensely until he disappears into the house. And then he sort of breathes a sigh of maybe relief, and then for the first time since the ritual started, really self-doubt. I didn't see anything different, and I would hope that that's enough. I don't know. I can't get some of the things that I saw out of my head, and maybe I'm just being paranoid.
Johnny kind of gives a frown, reaches out and kind of puts a hand on Neil's shoulder. Look, Neil, you did really good tonight.
I hope so.
No, you fucking did.
I
don't understand any of this shit, but the two of them came out looking different than when they went in. This whole thing was actually really impressive.
I hope so. I hope I didn't make a huge mistake.
That's all we can ever hope for, man.
Look, it's getting late.
I gotta do this
early. I mean,
ritual before we go, so we gotta do this now. I guess
you go take care of that. Wynn, keep an eye on him. I'll clean all this shit up. Let's go now. Sun's about to come up.
Neil sags, like all the exhaustion hits him at once, and he just goes and starts trudging towards the house to do the warding ritual.
You want a piggyback ride?
No.
Okay.
Thank you, Wynn. Thank you for keeping us safe. I don't think anybody said that, but thank you to the both of you.
You don't need to thank us for keeping you safe. That's what we do.
They're going to be really fucking pissed at me, aren't they?
Who?
The two of them. I put them through hell.
I think when we're tired and we're full of doubt and we're feeling a lot of big feelings, it's very easy to turn to blame. But I don't think there's any blame to be had.
I guess we'll see. Thank you.
Well, I'll punch him in the dick.
Thanks, Wynn.
As everyone is cleaning up, splitting off, and getting ready for the morning, Wynn, what is your fastest means of transportation?
My fastest means of transportation?
Yes.
Me personally?
Yep.
Probably being a bird.
Okay. You go outside.
Unless I can bribe Johnny into getting me a car.
Bird's probably actually even faster for this.
Yeah.
You step outside. You feel the urge to be somewhere. You shapeshift, and you fly away. The next night, the group of you, perhaps for one of the only times this has ever happened, find yourselves waking at the same time. As each of you are startled from your slumber and aroused by this tremor that shakes the earth. Miles, at your door, banging on it, are one of your ghouls. Sir, there's a situation.
Enter.
He opens the door. There is an attack that's happening. People are going crazy all over the city. There's a fire downtown.
Very good. Get the ghouls prepared. Let the others know.
When you open your eyes and sit up addressing him, you see that your ghoul is already strapped with an MP7 slung onto him, heavy body armor, and he has this look about him that tells you immediately that him and the boys have been prepping for combat all day.
Give me whatever status report you can in 5 minutes.
Understood. There are kindred who are arriving shortly. They called ahead, but there are some equipment deliveries and a handful who are looking for asylum at a haven that they can lay low at for the time being.
We'll provide them what we can. He's not inferring that they're coming to, here.
That is exactly what he's just said.
I'm sorry, how did they figure out where here was? Do you know?
No, sir. I thought you had told them.
I hadn't told anyone.
He kind of makes this wry face and steps out.
Britta comes round the corner, eyes wide. Was that an earthquake or?
I have my doubts, but there seems to be a fire downtown.
So we should all get ready.
Gear up. It looks like it started.
Did you, pick up that bow?
Yeah, you have that. Also, we should take along with us the 50 cal lent to us by Arabella.
I'll get suited up. Bow, gun, knives. Do we have flares?
Yes.
All right.
Johnny comes walking in, looking around. Any of y'all seen Wynn?
She's not here?
I haven't seen her anywhere. I don't think any of your ghouls have seen her either.
Shit. That's not good. Johnny, give her a call.
I'll try. He steps away.
Miles is going to start actually putting his gear on instead of just sitting around in his silk pajamas.
Neil comes upstairs with no longer like a fanny pack even, just a satchel bag, and he's just shoving lots of things into it. Okay, so it's time. It's happening. It's happening now. I don't know if hopefully the wards will hold here, but we need to be. Where do we need to be? You and Miles, you and Johnny were working on a plan for disbursement, or does anybody have a shotgun or something that I could?
Yes.
Just in case.
Here's a shotgun. Here's some regular rounds and some Dragon's Breath rounds. They're color-coded.
Okay, so the shells are color-coded, but this is a regular shotgun. So if I use the one, if I use the Dragon's Breath rounds, is it going to destroy the shotgun, or is it
might warp it some.
I'm only going to do it once and then run, so this isn't my...
Right,
I'd rather have it than not have it like we used to do.
Right, we have more shotguns if necessary, so, these aren't special.
I don't want to use it, but,
we should be prepared.
Yeah. I need direction. What should I be doing right now?
Help me get Johnny's stuff together for him?
Yeah.
He's calling Wynn.
Yeah, I haven't seen her. Is she here?
We don't know yet.
Neil looks deeply crestfallen, but then goes to busy himself trying to get...
Any things you
Milestones.
can put upon us before we get out in the field?
We can call the moon before we go. There's other things that I can do but it's mostly for myself. Unless we want to prepare, it only lasts an hour or two. But I can, when we're moving, I can. Well, so long as you stay close to me when we're moving, I can cloak all of us.
There's
Okay.
actually something I can do, I think. It'd be the first time I'm trying it, but a long time ago, Elsa was talking about this thing that I could do that bolsters parts of the self. We'd have to sit and look at art for a little while, and I could try it. It can really help with calming us, keeping our heads on straight, or maybe our bravery, our resolve.
Whatever we need to do, it looks like we also might be having visitors sometime soon. Unnamed kindred delivering equipment.
I warded the house before bed last night. Do they have to come inside, or?
I really hope they don't come inside. I don't know who they are.
One of the gold approaches. Sir, they're here. They're at the door. What do you want us to do?
I finish strapping on my equipment, including my new sword, and tell the golf, lead me to it. Everyone else continue preparations.
You sure you don't want someone with you?
You should have at least someone with you.
Keep an eye out from the windows or something then.
I will. And Britta will take one of her guns and get positioned comfy at one of the windows.
And I will go out and meet our uninvited guests.
Miles, you open the front door. And the lawn, the street, everything you see is washed in a blood-red glow, and your eyes drift straight up to a star that hangs in the sky a third the size of the moon. And it is a red, hateful star. And for the briefest moment, you find yourself looking through eyes that are not yours. And around you, you see skyscrapers, tall and looming overhead. There's gunfire, there's violence. You see two vampires fighting side by side. One of them is a man who has the gaunt, pale look of a path-dead canine. But on one side of his face, there's this slight tinge of a sunburn. And in his hands is a sword. Beside him is a man in a leather jacket, long stringy hair that's a mess, and he has these massive 2-foot claws made from like thick bone spurs that protrude from his hands. And the two of them are fighting off what looks to be multiple Camarilla kindred. And Roman Pendragon's army is everywhere, brawling open in the streets against the Sabbat. You look down at your hands and realize that you are looking at Roman Pendragon's hands. And then standing before you, right at the front steps of your haven, is a pair of kindred. A third is out by the curb, leaning against a car you recognize and smoking a cigarette. That woman, very attractive, is Lucita, and you recognize that car right away.
Is it Midnight Blue?
It is Midnight Blue.
Guys, all hope has been restored.
The two kindred that are standing directly before you. One of them is the Assamite Aisha, who has been serving as the assistant to Johnny as your seneschal. And the other is Nyx of the Malkavians.
Nyx, Aisha.
Nyx seems to regard you with narrowed eyes, and she says, "It has begun, and I am simply stopping by to speak to Neil. May I enter?"
I don't think so. Neil has done something to the house. I can bring Neil out here.
She frowns slightly and holds her hand out. Yes, I see. Yes, please. Aisha lowers her head in reverence to the prince, unlike Nyx, and soft and sweet, she says, I have fashioned a gift for Johnny. May I present it to him?
I will bring Johnny. Quick question. How did you guys find out about this place?
Nyx smiles. There is nowhere you could have gone that I could not find you.
Okay. Thanks. All right, I will get them. Lucida, you need anyone too?
Nyx adds, be sure to remember that, Your Grace. And what do you do? Sorry?
I look out. Lucida, do you need me to get anyone for you also?
Nope. She kind of like relaxes and lights another cigarette.
All right. I see the car's in good condition.
Oh, thanks. She pats it like it's her car.
I am narrowing my eyes and going back inside. I have a nearby servant go get Neil and Johnny and telling them they have guests and they need to meet them outside.
Coming up from behind you, Johnny goes, no need to get me. I'm right here. It looks like he's pretty strapped, ready for battle. Pops some Morley in his mouth and lights it up. Who's outside?
Aisha, your secretary?
She must have found your address in my office.
Why is my address in... Anyways, here to see you.
Neil comes up shortly afterwards. If you want to... Did I tell you last night? If you want to let other kindred in, you can. You just have to invite them. But you also have to be careful not to invite them when you don't want them to come in.
I see you found where I was at. I didn't want to invite them in.
That's fine. Yeah. I'm just... Did I not? I forgot if I could tell you.
I don't remember. But I didn't want to invite them in either.
He's being polite while...
Okay, who's...
Nyx is here for you.
Of course she knew where you were.
Johnny opens the door. Aisha, come on inside.
Aisha gives you a nod. Seneschal, I just wanted to thank you. And as she approaches the door, she stops, feeling uneasy. I may not enter, I'm sorry.
I'm inviting you in.
Thank you, and I am grateful for your invitation. But I still cannot enter.
No?
I do not feel safe doing so.
Oh,
and she looks a little perplexed by that.
Fair enough. Johnny steps outside then. Kind of eyes Nyx up and down.
Neil shuffles out immediately afterwards. Primogen and Nyx, hello. Nice to see you.
Nyx looks at you. I cannot interfere with what is about to transpire, Neil.
Okay.
There is a code that I am bound to. But there is a gift I can grant you. And she gestures towards you and says, it is done. And she gives you a nod. You will know what to do. Trust that. And she turns and starts to leave.
Like a million emotions cross Neil's face nakedly at once. Mostly like the resigned confusion of a prophet met with another prophet telling him to have faith in things that are coming in the future that he is not aware of yet. So he doesn't question Nyx, just as she's walking away, sort of remembers and goes, thank you, Primogen. Good luck in your observations.
Neil, for the next 2 nights, you are completely immune to the disciplines Dementation and Dominate.
Oh.
Metal.
If it is a level of Dementation or Dominate above level 5, you will have to spend a point of willpower to completely negate it.
Okay.
By the way.
Fucking baller.
Holy shit, he's a La Sombra?
Oh my god. Oh, that's sneaky. We think Marcus Vitale's still in the city, right?
Johnny, who kind of was like, just, greeting Aisha, looks over at you, the weird look you exchange with Nyx, and is like, what? Neil...
We knew he was the mole. We think he's still in the city, right?
What are we even talking about?
Marcus Vitale.
Vitale?
Yeah.
He kind of looks back and forth between you and Nyx, who's walking away. Yes?
Okay. Okay, great.
One second. Aisha, what can I do for you?
Yep.
Aisha, one moment, and she hustles back to the car. And Lucida kind of reaches into the passenger seat, like right around that little tight space where one's legs might fit. and retrieves a bag with some sort of weapon kind of poking out of it. And Aisha hustles back. She sets the bag down. She crouches down and kind of opens this this gym bag. And she takes out two things. One, part of it kind of hanging out of the bag itself. She takes out a fire axe. The fire axe has a kind of crimson sheen along its edge. She sets that down. You must not touch its edge, Johnny. But this is the backup. She kind of says with a little bit of pride in her expression. And she then takes out what might look like a sort of gauntlet, but there is this blade that comes out about 6-7 inches from it. And you recognize what looks like some sort of cross between a gauntlet and a katar. And that looks to be of magnificently crafted metals and has this dark red sheen to its entire shape. And on it, there's this kind of oil on the blade itself that seems to have these flecks of silver and like this ruddy, almost like a molasses. And she presents that to you, and she says, you must also not touch the edge of this weapon, but it is a fierce weapon, one that I have spent a great deal of time preparing for you, one that is meant to slay elders and protect this city. It is my gift to you.
Johnny kind of sits there dumbfounded with his mouth a little slack. He takes the morally out of his lip and just drops it and puts it out with his boot. This is probably this is too much of a gift, Aisha. This weapon's beautiful. You probably shouldn't put this in the hands of a brute like me.
It is an important tradition to my clan that we protect the mortal flock, that we bring vengeance to the unjust. And I know how deeply you care for both of these things. And I know that in the absence of my warrior, you are the right choice.
Smile kind of creeps across Johnny's face. All right, I won't let you down.
There is one more thing. She goes into the duffel bag and says to you, the warrior that I speak of did not survive the exodus from Alamut. He and many of my brothers and sisters were slain for our faith. This belonged to him, and I would like you to wear it as you defend us from these Sabbat, as you call them. And she takes out this suit of very simple but well-crafted scale mail. And the scale mail armor on each of its scales has that ruddy red color to it.
I'm honored, Aisha. May I ask the name of this warrior who fell?
His name was Isaac.
Thank you. I don't know what to say.
But you know what to do.
He kind of bows his head and grins at that. I do. He gently takes the scale mail. I will do everything I can to honor what you've given me here. Thank you.
I have faith that you will.
Do you have somewhere safe to go during all this?
Yes. I will be as safe as one can be in this sort of scenario. But I trust that this storm will pass.
I'll catch up with you after then.
I look forward to it.
He nods, looks up at Lucita, looks at the car, kind of gives her a cocked eyebrow and a impressed nod that she's kept it in one piece. How, he could never do that. And then we'll head back inside.
Once business is done, the three women who arrived leave. Aisha leaves with Lucita, and Nyx wanders off into the night, vanishing into it.
Just continue to borrow that car for now.
Miles, I hate to say it. I don't think you're getting that car
Don't say
back.
it.
Okay.
Don't curse it.
Listen, when we're out there,
And the ground shakes again.
I think something's waking up.
is it something in the sewers? Is it... Neil starts looking around. There's street grates and stuff. Is there I don't know, unnatural light or fire or something coming out of the street grates, or are we...
You look around and the city looks just like it always has, except for one difference. Just like I had mentioned for Miles, you, Johnny, all of you can see the star hanging so close in the sky and washing everything in this strange red light.
Neil looks up at it for a little bit and kind of gets lost looking at it.
Johnny pushes him gently from the shoulder. Hey.
Right.
Final preparations.
Okay.
I'll contact the city, see what's going on. But we're heading out there.
Where do we need to be?
That's what I'm going to find out.
Okay.
Britta, do you mind giving me a hand? I don't think I've ever actually worn scale mail before.
If Britta's able to hear you from the window, she'll go on and head down to join you. She's suited up herself, fully loaded, and with the addition now of, I think it's a composite bow, right?
Composite bow, yeah.
Yeah. So she's got her bow, she's got her quiver, she's got the jacket that Johnny gave her a long time ago, recovered from Pendragon's place, body armor set over it, and readied. She goes to help you get set up, kind of, oh no, marveling, right? Is this very well crafted?
It is so very well crafted.
Yeah, hang on. Because we haven't had any time for me to do bliss. This is just a pure self-control roll.
This is self-control difficulty 6.
Yep. 2 successes.
All right, you with 2 successes, you marvel at its beauty, but you do not get lost in it, and are able to assist Johnny just as he asked.
This is really, really nice.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit too nice for me, if I'm being honest.
Well, you're gonna scuff it up a little bit.
Let's hope not.
I'm kind of hoping that it hits the armor.
He kind of looks up at you and smiles that, no, you're probably right. Nods.
Neil, you recognize the tinge to the gear that has been given to Johnny, and you recognize it as the blood tempering. And you know Johnny might not actually even be physically capable of scuffing up that armor.
Johnny, that came from the children of Hakim.
I know.
It's been tempered by blood. It's, as far as I'm aware, indestructible.
Well, for my sake, let's hope so.
Aisha, that's a lot of trust that she put in you.
He gets very sober at that.
You're,
and kind of nods along.
You're going to be worthy of it. I know you are. We're going to do our best, right? He kind of looks at everybody.
I like the idea of you wearing an indestructible armor. I think that you can make good use of it.
And how the hell do I put this thing on? Kind of lifts up the weird gauntlet blade that was given to him.
Don't trust the blade.
Hang on, stay
She
still.
said that.
Here, help you set it on.
Just be careful with it. The children of Hakim use various toxins and what that slay kindred, and so You don't want to touch anything with it that you don't want to kill.
What are you scared of me dropping it? And he kind of like shoves it around.
Neil actively
I need a
jumps.
Dex plus athletics roll.
Fuck you.
Guys, what are the chances Garrett fails this roll?
Oh, no.
It's statistically impossible. Oh no.
Shut the fuck up.
Rebecca's not feeling this.
No. No, I am not.
7 successes.
Johnny catches it quick, and the blade very nearly touches his finger. Johnny, it touches your finger so close that the edge of your fingernail touches this residue, and that edge of your fingernail is simply gone.
Kind of glances down at that and goes, huh?
There's the slightest sizzle.
So maybe save that for something big. Speaking of which, getting across the city, I know last time with Marcus Vitale, there was a mistake was made by me, and our obfuscation was broken. I can do the same thing, but before we go, I can also do it less powerfully, but mystically, so that we can, redundancies on redundancies, right? Can't be too paranoid in tonight's nights. But if we do get separated and you see him, I need you to remember me saying this, and I know you're not going to believe it because I don't think you're capable of believing it. And that's not a judgment call. That's just Marcus Vitale is a Le Sombre. He is not a Ventru. And I know that in your minds you know that he's a Ventru, and I am telling you the only way this works, and it was only because of just now and clarity of mind, he is using a discipline to make you think that, but he's not. So if you find him, approach with caution. Again, not that we wouldn't anyways, because we already saw what he could do, but Miles, he's not a member of your clan. He's lying.
Lex, what does this translate to on our heads?
It sounds a lot like Neil is kind of just being crazy.
Is this some kind of weird, like, blood magic thing?
Neil sighs. Forget it. It's not important.
Are you trying to, like, take away his, like, Ventru nature through some kind of weird bullshit you're making up?
I need to see him to hurt him like that. But for now, we need to go, right? Forget it.
I have a bunch of these shotguns made. Johnny, here's a shot off one with 2 dragon's breath rounds. Just shoot it, throw it, do whatever you want with it.
So Johnny puts his leather jacket on over the scale mail that he's wearing, then fixes a sheath for the shotgun to his back, along with the blood-tempered axe. And then I'm not sure how I'm going to fucking carry this weird arm scythe thing.
I think you wear it.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to, huh? I guess Johnny is going to take out his boot knife, and he's going to make an incision and basically cut off the front part of the arm of his leather jacket to fix this blade onto his forearm. Because it needs to go as a glove kind of thing, right?
Right, it comes halfway up your forearm.
Yeah, so like a tonfa almost, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so he'll actually just remove part of the leather jacket so that he can make room to fix this thing on. So he's got that blade there. Is there any way we can get some kind of actually, you know what? He'll use the removed part of the leather jacket and basically just kind of make a leather sheath to go over that arm blade.
That works perfectly.
Johnny, did you hear from Wynn?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from Wynn. We don't know where she went.
Should one of us try to summon her, or might that put her more in danger?
I want her here, obviously. I want her with us, and she wants to be with us, but she's also an Archon, and the city is under siege, and there are Justicars in the area. It's not a huge leap to guess where she is.
Summoning her may further endanger her.
So give it, an hour, 2 hours?
Give her an hour, and if we haven't heard, I'll go to her. I'll find her. I can find her anywhere, if we have to. And Neil pulls out of his, duffel bag a little photo book, and there are little Polaroids of all of you guys and several other people in there.
Amongst the stuff that Britta had brought to the car when she asked Neil to help with getting Johnny's stuff prepped, she had actually gotten some of Wynn's stuff prepped. There's a go bag that would suit Wynn in her usual style, set alongside everyone else's.
Miles comes out of the house, and the gear is different than normal. He is wearing a embossed breastplate with a combination of chainmail and Kevlar as part of it. He's wearing a gold circlet around his head. And he is a half cape on his non-dominant arm, following along with the sword that's easy to draw. It seems that behind his back in a sheath is a shot-off shotgun of his own. And no, I can't. Flare guns are tacky.
Excuse me. I think Britta decked out in, I mean, frankly, basically a Catwoman fit, except for the jacket. She's rocking her flare gun along with her other accessories, but she's gone somewhere between, like I said, a bit of Catwoman, a bit of her Tamahera roots. She's looking very 1999, and the flare gun suits her.
Should have painted them black.
Neil, what are you wearing?
Neil is wearing a pair of dark khakis and his normal shoes and a sweater, over which is the pretty beat to hell but still functional flak armor that Miles got him forever ago. And the only thing other than the level of panic attack, I guess, by which to judge the fact that he is also decked out is the fact that he has upgraded the small bag of wizard tools to like a big ass fucking bag, out of which pokes the handle of a shotgun. Okay, so I will, what's the goal here? Live through the night?
Always.
Okay, good. Everybody ready? Before we get out into the streets, let's prepare. Give me a couple of minutes. Neil will look up at the sky, looking at the moon, trying to push away the awareness of that massive star, and through the ritual and the bloodletting with everyone, go, may we live to see tomorrow night. And Lex, I'm going to call down the Hunter's Moon.
Give me a roll.
I will spend a willpower on this. That is 6 successes. 7 successes, because I spent the fucking willpower. That is 7 successes, so everyone gets 7 additional willpower, I believe, for the night, for the purposes of surviving the night.
All right, so bear with me, because I haven't done this before, but I'm pretty sure I've got the hang of it. What I have to do is put myself into the trance of my clan. But I want to get this to work for you guys, too, so I want you guys to really spend this with me, okay? I know that beauty and all of it doesn't hit you exactly the same, but if you can focus with me, Johnny, a long time ago, one of the records you showed me, I'm thinking that one of those songs could really be what I'm focusing on. 'Cause I'm thinking that we might need some courage if things are on fire.
Look, Britta, I know you haven't given me any of the Zeppelin albums back, so I want to say something like that, but I've been saving something for you. I don't think you've been ready for yet. He leans over, and we're in the car, right?
Yeah, at this point you guys are like loading into the car.
Leans over and pops open the glove box and takes out a cassette tape in a little black box that has a little X on it. Kind of holds us up.
Johnny, is that music or?
Some may call this music, but this is a benediction. He pops it into the cassette player, and Holy Diver begins to play.
Path of Night is a Vampire the Masquerade podcast set in the world of darkness. Britta Ashcroft the Toreador was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Johnny Saxon the Bruja was played by Garrett Gabbey. Miles Davenport the Venture was played by Tim Davis. Neil Foster the Malkavian was played by Rob Muirhead. Wynn Cabot the Gangrel was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Lex Lopez.
Recording by Rebecca Steigelfest. This episode edited by Rob Muirhead. The music used in this episode was composed for Path of Night by Brian Metolious. Find him online at brianmetolious.com. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by Paradox Interactive. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We can be found on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show on coffee.com/pathofnight. Find us on twitter.com/pathofnightpod, on facebook.com/pathofnightpodcasts, or email us at pathofnightpodcasts@gmail.com. See you next time, kindred.
This is giving some serious, like,
Hey, man.
we're in a bad spot, guys. Lex is fucking armoring us with fucking medieval shit
This
in the vampire game.
100% feels like
The before the boss room.
before the boss room. It's like, hey, so sick ammo packs and health packs. What? Wait, why do I need
Look
these?
at all of this destructible cover.
Yes.